All right, so we just have one final segment here for everybody. We're going to do so. We were thinking the other day, and Joe actually this was his segment idea. So the Avengers fought Thanos, and we were
Yeah, and what I thought of was why did Thanos wait so long? Because if Thanos was like thinking of this right after Avengers, like to take over the world and do his whatever genocide thing, why did he wait so long? And my theory was like did he wait for all the villains to die? Because then it would have been like, oh, there's half as many power people that have been taken care of until this point. So
because there's less like Ronins in the world that are going to want to take the Power Stone from him.
Right. So I was like, what if the villains won and the villains had to save Earth from Thanos?
What if the villains won?
So
like in theory, what if Red Skull beat Captain America? What if Loki beat Thor?
What if Ultron won?
What if Ultron won? Yeah, all those sorts of things. Like, so yeah, what if the villains won and then the villains had to fight Thanos?
Yeah. So there's a lot of villains in the MCU. So what we did was we built an Avengers team. We built 6 people.
Right. Yep.
We took 6 people.
And for those of you wondering why we did 6, in the traditional comics, they fluctuate between about 5 and 7 that they consider primary Avengers at the time. So 6. 6
and our Avengers had 6.
And our Avengers had
6.
So we each picked 3. And
we talked about it, and we each picked 3 after a discussion.
Yeah.
So
we obviously had some that combined. So we did 6 unique ones. So we aren't going to do like 3 of the same. So it's 6 unique ones, and we each are going to talk about 3 pre-Endgame.
Pre-Endgame, because
no
Thanos,
Agatha Harkness,
no Mysterio.
So it's pre-Endgame. So for those of you wondering, like,
no Dreykov or Taskmaster, no Mandarin.
Yeah, for all those of you that are going to be so mad that we don't have Taskmaster on here, that's why. That's the only reason why.
Okay, so starting off, I decided what villain. Thanos has millions of Outriders, and I thought, what villain could we use? We have a couple people here that can combat this, but how are we going to get the troops, the minions that are going to fight all these Outriders?
Yep.
It's not the Dora Milaje. It's not that's basically the Dora Milaje and all of Wakanda that was fighting. So I took Ultron, and I think Ultron will be the leader in this scenario. He's not the strongest person on our list. However, he would have the army. He has the army to.
He'd have his Sentinels.
Yeah. So I took Ultron. And Ultron just has he would want to take over the world anyway. But he wouldn't want Thanos to take over the world because he wants to take over the world. So
which is going to be the problem with all these villains is after they beat Thanos, now they're going to have to worry about who gets to win now.
Right.
My first choice was, or one of my first selections, because I also like we had a lot of similar thoughts, but the first one I'm going to mention, Dormammu. I was like, so I wonder, would Dormammu be stuck in the dark dimension? But like we said in our theory, that means that the villains won in this case, which means that Dormammu was able to get out of the dark dimension. Dormammu, historically in the comics, and he doesn't have like a limit, he has an undescribable limit to his power. So I thought that would be like a perfect example to go up against Infinity Stones and Thanos, because you need like the strongest people. Not only that, but we mentioned we need like an army to fight the Outriders. He is able to turn people into
mindless ones.
Yeah, he's able to turn people into mindless ones, and then in the comics, he has zealots as well. So he's able to create an army as well if need be. But he also has his primary superpower outside of it, or his primary ability outside of his like superpowers listed. His primary ability is Master Tactician. and strength, immeasurable strength. So outside of the dark dimension, he in the comics is considered strength that has no limit. So he could constantly get bigger and bigger.
Right. So we have a bunch of expendable our army.
We have a large expendable army that we cannot care about dying, which are mindless ones and sentinels.
Is that all for Dormammu?
I mean, I can keep going on Dormammu.
So now we thought we were thinking tactfully here. So assuming that our Avengers have tacticiously fully. So I'm thinking we had the battle at Wakanda. The Avengers purposely had the battle at Wakanda.
Yep.
Right? They got Vision to Wakanda. They flew to Wakanda, right? So our kind of last ditch effort or our last home zone is going to be on the celestial planet of Ego. So this is where our final fight, this is where our last stand is going to be. Assuming that Thanos needs the last Infinity Stone, we have it. We're on Ego. Like that's
you can assume maybe Ultron has it because he beat Vision.
Right. Sure.
Maybe he can assume that we're the last thing we're
going after. Yeah, because that's what he wanted was the Mind Stone.
So maybe we have an
Ultron with we have an Ultron with the Mind Stone, which is terrifying. And he's made out of vibranium too.
Yep.
At that point. So we're going to take Ego. It's going to be on our home ground, and also that is the third pick is Ego. So that is going to be we kind of control the planet that they're on. So that is our thought process on Ego.
And Ego is just incredibly powerful.
Yeah,
already
he's celestial, which is stronger than Thanos already. So
Celestials are supposed to be a step above Titans and a step above Eternals.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why we want Ego. The next person that I selected, which is another one of my favorite Marvel characters, also, if he would have won, would have had possession of Infinity Stone, I believe.
Yeah.
Tesseract is an Infinity Stone, right?
Yep, he had the Tesseract. Yep.
So Loki is the next person we picked. One, because his magic is incredibly powerful, especially because we've learned this would be pre the TV
show. Is it 2012 Loki, or is it?
It would have to be 2012
through Ragnarok Loki. Which one are you taking? Are you taking Loki Disney Plus series Loki?
We can't take Disney Plus because that's supposed to be
That's happening. It's in 2012 though. Okay, so you're taking the Loki up until he dies. That Loki,
right? Yeah, because
villain Loki.
I'm considering that Disney Plus Loki, because I would take Disney Plus Loki because he saw what his powers could do with old Loki.
Okay.
I feel like I can't take it because he got to see what happened with Endgame, which means it had to be considered post that because it's not considered on a timeline.
Okay.
So I'm gonna not count Disney Plus Loki. I'm gonna take it as Thor 1 villain Loki.
Avengers Loki.
Avengers Loki.
Loki takes over Earth.
Take that Loki.
Okay.
So he has the Tesseract. That's another thing that Thanos is going to want on Ego. So another reason to bring him there. He can create an entire army of himself. He has incredible powers, and he has a lot of access now. So I think Loki's like basically that Captain America /
the Doctor Strange-esque. Probably.
And Doctor Strange as and another master tactician. So you have Dormammu, who's considered a master tactician, and Loki as a master tactician. So and magical abilities, weapons, blah blah
blah. So the next pick I'm taking, this is our powerhouse here. This is our Thor arriving to Wakanda powerhouse here.
Yeah.
And that is the goddess of death. It is Hela. And so we saw what she did to the Asgardian army. So I think she's going to make light work of these Outriders. So, I mean, the Outriders, they're going to swarm Ultrons. They're going to swarm mindless ones. But then they got to get through. This is like unleashing Scarlet Witch or Captain Marvel in Endgame. This is Hela's going to mow people down with her sword and then just her helmet. I'm taking Hela.
Yeah. So. I think Hela. So Hela, Ego, Ultron, Dormammu, Loki are actually all ones that we like we considered them must-haves. Like both of us when we were talking about this are like, those are all must-haves for me. I don't know about you. And then we were like, yep, those are all must-haves. So the very last one we have here, this it's kind of like a last-ditch effort. If the people that we currently selected, if the villains we currently selected are not able to do it, we thought, what is one like completely different? It's
Hail Mary.
Yeah, it's Hail Mary. Like it's you're not going to overpower them with strength. You're not going to overpower them with superpowers. This person narrowly edged out Surtur. This person narrowly edged out Surtur because Surtur was who I was originally going to take.
Yep. Surtur's another Dormammu type. You know, like you're taking the, I don't know. You're not
trying to overpower.
Yeah.
As opposed to be tactful.
Yeah.
You know, try to like sneak in a victory, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then there was another person I was considering as well. Abomination. We were considering to
Abomination.
Be like the Hulk version of like Hulk for us. But we ended up going with Yellow Jacket.
Why did we go with Yellow Jacket?
Yellow Jacket is my last choice because he can fly up Thanos' butt and expand from the inside. And you know what? The Avengers were too scared to do it. We're not too scared. We're villains. We get gross. We get gross. So you know, Joe's girlfriend pitched the idea of, why don't you have him fly in his ear and expand in his head? That is stupid. Okay,
yeah, that's
what if you want to defeat the villain of villains, you want to defeat him where he's ashamed. Like he goes down in history as the guy who died from Yellow Jacket flying in his butt.
Yeah, exactly. So like across the galaxy, they're gonna fear the villains of Earth because we've got the balls to fly in his butthole and expand. That's
so our final sixth choice on our Avengers, our Black Widow, our our Ant-Man, our, you know,
when we're just
this is our Hawkeye.
When we're on the brim or the rim, our last
when we're just circling defeat. When we are just circling defeat, facing the brown eye of defeat, we, you know, you got to fill up that balloon hole.
Exactly. You gotta pack it in.
Yeah, we want to pack that Yellow Jacket straight up there. Shove David Cross where the light doesn't shine.
Yeah. And expand.
And expand. Yep. So that there it is. We can beat the Outriders with Ultron, Loki, Dormammu, Hela, and then we're fighting
on Ego.
On Ego, we have the Vision. We have the Mind Stone. We have the Tesseract. So we know that we can draw him there. We have the advantage because it's on Ego. And
if all that fails,
our Hail Mary is probably what David Cross is praying as he has to do what he has to do. But our Hail Mary is Yellow Jacket, edging out Surtur and A-Bomb.
Yeah.
So if you didn't think that was a good choice,
I'd like to see who you would pick.
There's you know what? We had a question of the day earlier. Here's one. We had a question for you now. Who are your 6 villains? Who are this pre-Endgame? Which 6 villains would you choose?
To defend
the
Earth. Defend not Earth. Defend
the universe, really.
The universe, yep.
From Thanos. Who do you pick?
You could pick Ronan, and then you'd have the Power Stone.
Yeah, because that technically Ronan would have won there.
You could pick Malekith and have the Reality Stone. You could pick. Oh, would Dormammu have the Time Stone?
I guess, yeah.
There you go. We're stronger already.
We're already, with the villains winning, we're already at an advantage over the heroes. And we have Yellow Jacket. So.
Yeah, we have Yellow Jacket.
But yeah, and you know, I think those are all awesome choices. I think we made the right 6. Like
I think so too.
You can make an argument of Surtur over Loki. I think you can make an argument of Surtur over Yellow Jacket, but you need that Hail Mary. You need so yeah, that is our last little segment. We want to hear what you have to think about that. I had a lot of fun with that. So that was really cool. And yeah, I want to see what you guys think about that, because this was actually really fun. So
yeah.